What goes boom, boom, boom and makes you smile all over? Yes, it's the Soundcore Motion Boom. It's great if you got one. It's even better if you got two. And if you got none of them and you need lights and you need an auxiliary input, you can get the Mifa Wildbox. Slightly different, but similar. But what's this all about? Ow. It's because there is a firmware update, and this one is huge. It's huge because this time bugs have been fixed. So normally they fix bugs, but this time they're fixing bugs. Yes, that means they always tell us bugs fixed. They never say anything else. They leave you to go on YouTube to find out exactly what's happened. Thank God we've got Alan Ross Reviews channel. Straight, serious reviews. We know where we stand. So, where are we at? We're at 0.35. We're a long way from one. I don't know why. We've got a firmware update. It's fixing the bugs. All those bugs that we've been talking about all the time. Oh, hang on a sec. I don't remember any of them. However, 0.35 to 0.39. Why do we like the boom boom? Well, the motion boom goes boom boom. And it's also got something we like to talk about a lot. Titanium drivers. It sounds good when you say it. Looks good in the specs. So, where are we at? We need to find out if the sound has changed. I can't test bugs because I don't know what bugs they're trying to fix. But what I can do is test these speakers before I firmware update them. Test them again after I firmware update them. Oh, it's so exciting. I can hardly bear it. The tension is incredible. Has the sound changed? What I'm going to do is a 65% test in custom mode. See if they've messed with custom mode at all. And then I go to maximum volume. But first of all, in custom mode. And just to let you know, because I get it all the time, can you tell me your best settings for the EQ on the boom and the plus and the blah and the blah? Well, I don't have, I'm telling you what I mess with. There's nothing magic about my settings. I think they're quite nice. You don't have to like them and you can mess. That's why it's called, hey, here's the clue, custom EQ. So it's not EQ to be flat, and if you think I've done something magical, no. Obviously, you want to base it around something reasonably flat, but remember, even in the audiophile world, flat doesn't really relate to the bass. So, you know, maybe down to 100 hertz, they'll all agree. Say 100 hertz, 10 kilohertz, they'll agree. We want that to be flat. It's a matter of debate, to be honest. As you go, the higher end, harmonics, and the lower end, you know, the bass. How much bass do you want? How much of those at that high end? That's a matter of debate. So I'm going for a warmer sound in my EQ. Not always. It's got to be within the limits of the speaker itself, of course. It's got to sound, that's the point. It's not just about frequency response. These drivers, the speakers themselves, all the electronics have their own acoustical characteristics. And that's the beauty of putting together a multi-1,000 pound worth of hi-fi equipment. Everything has its own sound and you've got to put it together. It's an art form, isn't it? Putting together high-end. Anyway, we're talking about Bluetooth speakers. You've waffled again now. I know, I don't know why that happens. We're just going to get on with it. 65% custom mode. Wipers are talking about custom mode. It's just come back to me now. It's because after I did the comparison against the Mifa, I tried to tune the Soundcore like the Mifa. It sort of got like the Mifa, but it isn't because that's more full-bodied, while that's a bit leaner, more neutral, goes a little bit deeper. However, I did like the tuning. I've got to hand it to Mifa for pushing me in that direction. The only thing I've done since my Mifa Boom video, I brought the 80 hertz slider down a little notch. But I do like this EQ. The EQ will be in the video when you see the comparison. It's also on my Instagram, by the way, guys. You keep asking me, can I have it? So I started. It's all coming back to me now. If you want to know my best EQ, they're not my best EQ. They're the EQ I use. I do not claim they are the best EQ. It just happens. They're the EQs that I personally like. Alan Ross Reviews channel, he does what he wants. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's all on my Instagram. I'm not pushing my Instagram. Oh, hang on a sec. Maybe I am. If you want to sign up, if you want to subscribe to that, that's entirely your personal freedom to make that choice. Here we go, 65% custom mode.
Through the fire, understood you're strong inside, and now I really care. Oh, lover, we still love each other. Come on, let's leave the space behind and let's fly again.
65% custom mode. It doesn't get more identical than that. Green overlaid on white, 0039 over 0035, and it's one line. Absolutely no change, identical.
That's basically identical. I declare that no change. What about headroom? A maximum volume.
I feel la-la-la-like, la-la-la-like. I feel la-la-la-like. I'm falling in love with you. La-la-la-like, la-la-la-like. I feel la-la-la-like. I'm falling in love with you. I feel like, I feel like, I feel like. I feel like, I feel like, I feel like. I feel like, I feel like, I feel like. I'm falling in love. I feel la-la-la-like, la-la-la-like. I feel la-la-la-like. I'm falling in love with you. La-la-la-like, la-la-la-like. I feel la-la-la-like. I'm falling in love with you.
Maximum volume, again, almost exactly the same. There is a tiny half a decibel difference here from about 250 hertz all the way up to about 7 kilohertz. Could well be margin of error, but in my test, in default mode, at absolute maximum volume, there may be a slight loss in absolute headroom, including a little bit here in the bass, but that's margin of error. You're never going to hear it, even if it's real.
See, you can make an argument, is that little tiny bit of difference, is that margin of error? Is that real? And indeed, would you even hear it in the real world? And that's the maximum volume test. I'd say, to all intents and purposes, to your ears, no change. But already, I'm getting people come on, they've got less bass, they've got more bass, and that's the thing. Lots of things at play here. Your expectations, how you're going to perceive that change, because in all likelihood, you're not going to have two speakers, one you've updated, one you haven't. You may do. A few of you out there have got two. If you're doing a test that way, let me know. But of course, you've got one speaker, you've updated it, and suddenly you're trying to remember what it sounded like. You may be playing different tracks, and sometimes your brain is playing tricks because it wanted more bass, so you'd say you got less bass. Sometimes you thought it was a bit bass heavy, and now you're saying there's too much bass. I can only tell you in my testing, doing what I call objective measurements, I would say no change, except you come on the comments. You're brilliant when you do that sort of thing because you point me to places it would take me too much time to have to research. And well, tell me how, what did your subscribers tell you? I'm going to tell you now. And the clue is, bugs fixed. What bugs fixed? Well, let me turn on my titanium speciality, took grill off, bugger the speaker up, can't put the grill back, so I won't be using that. However, it's still on the old firmware. So we'll see the difference. And of course, I should have brought my phone with so I could play some music.
A few minutes later.
Old firmware. I'm going to start playing some music. And I'm going to press the Bluetooth button. It's disconnected. Note what just happened. I'm now going to do the same thing on the updated Motion Boom. It's very, very exciting at this point. What's going to happen? Is he going to pull a rabbit out of that boom? And that would be incredible. Well, let me just show you. I'm going to start playing music again on the new firmware. Now I'm going to press the Bluetooth button. It didn't disconnect. They've changed the function, or they removed that functionality. So apparently now it doesn't disconnect, but if it's not connected to your device at all, and then you press the Bluetooth button, it will forget the feature I've always wanted, the last device it was connected to. How handy is that? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they've introduced a new bug. We're going to get another update. I'll get another video. I'll get you to watch a few more ads. Life will be good again. So there you go. I declare no change except a bug's introduced, unless they really think that is a good idea. I'm sure you'll still come back and say, well, I tested it and it's completely changed. It now sounds like the Sonos Roam, and I'm going to get me money back, and why wouldn't you? If it sounds like the Sonos Roam, ha ha ha. I make a joke because I can only get any value out of that if I keep putting it into a video at some point, because this is a speaker I never listen to. There are people out... Oh, by the way, talking about speakers I never listen to and other people say are fantastic. I had a Tribit Stormbox Pro. I did a video on that. I didn't like it. There was no bass at all. Got another one. I thought it was broken. It was exactly the same. People still coming on telling me, don't know what you're doing, which has been a running theme since day one. And it's got the most bass I've ever heard, blah, blah, blah. And then one of my subscribers sent me a DM to say they'd been in touch with Tribit and they'd recognised the fact there's issues. Some of the Stormboxes, they say, are fine, and some, it seems a lot, are not right at all. There may or may not be a firmware update, but there you go. Alan Ross Reviews, vindicated again. Life is good again. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in my next video.
I ain't about that life. I ain't about that life. Ain't no project wife, got my logic right, guess I'm not your type. I ain't about that life. I ain't about that life. Sorry, ma, I ain't get it right. I'ma just live my life. I ain't about that. I ain't about that life.